Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Charlie and today we are going to be working on my April 2026 bullet journal spreads. So I'm going to start off how I always do, and that is with a Hello April page. This is just a little title page to welcome me into the new month. This month we're going to continue with the sort of cliche spring florals, and that is mostly because I have so many stickers. I also wanted to show you my really cool manicure, even though it's a bit grown out now. So these were actually a night court inspired design motif. I have been reading so much of the ACOTAR series this winter and spring. Literally in March, I read both A Court of Wings and Fury as well as A Court of Frost and Starlight. At the time that I'm doing my cute little voiceover for this video, I am maybe almost 2/3 of the way through A Court of Silver Flames. So that's been really exciting and fun, kind of catching up on the ACOTAR series hype. My friends were asking if I'm going to be reading any more of Sarah J. Maas's books, and for the time being, probably not. I've been just really blasting through the ACOTAR series, so I'm ready to take a break and go back to some other books. Namely, I'm really excited to get back into Emma Hamm's Deep Sea. I think they're calling it Deep Sea or Deep Water. Deep Water romanticities, romanticifys. I have Song of the Abyss, Echoes of the Tide, and Call of the Fathoms on deck. She gets these most beautiful, like, special edition hardcover copies on her website and she signs them. Oh my god, the art on them is just so gorgeous. I really enjoyed Whispers of the Deep, which I read, I think, back in fall. It was just really fun. I've never been really one to read romance novels, so this is all very new to me. I guess like within a past year. Anyways, back to Bujoing. I am laying out my stickers for these spreads. I get these packs of the Happy Planner stickers, and my favorite ones to get are the ones that are seasonal. If you've been following around, you know how much I really love making seasonal bullet journal spreads, even as cliche as they may be. It's just something that has really brought me joy, not just making these seasonal spreads, but also being present and witnessing the current season. I've previously talked about how I moved from the West Coast to the East Coast for a job, but I did seek out jobs on the East Coast in New England specifically so that I could live somewhere where I can experience all 4 seasons. And that's been really great so far. Recently, all of our snow has melted, so spring is kind of like we're in there. We've been getting lots of rain, but it's been warm, and I've been enjoying listening to the frogs at night. It's like something I just super look forward to now living here. Anyways, so this sticker pack had a lot of floral motifs for both spring and summer, and I feel like I kind of dip into the ones that were intended for summer a little bit in my April spreads this year. I wanted to save them more for my May spreads, but now it's looking like I really want to use my stickers and my new washi tape from the spring 2026 quarterly subscription box from Archer and Olive. I made a unboxing video for that subscription box because I was so excited about it. And honestly, I was not disappointed. Everything in the box is really cool and totally worth the price for it. I have a coupon if you want to check it out. I can totally recommend all of their products. I've used their journals before, and their stickers and their washi tape and other bits and bobs from them. And it's just cool. Their story is neat. I yap about that a little bit more in that unboxing video. So definitely check that out, especially if you like unboxing videos. I think sometimes they can be kind of relaxing and soothing. It kind of reminds me of like not old YouTube, but like an older an older era of YouTube when we were all watching unboxing and haul videos. But yeah, I had never filmed one before. I had a lot of fun filming this one. I would definitely do it again. I'd love to make more content featuring Archer and Olive products specifically. So if anybody from Archer and Olive ever watches this, please reach out to me. I would love to shill your products because they are really spectacular. So now that we've pretty much finished the Hello April welcome page, I'm going to move on to the calendar spread. This month of April 2026, we have 5 weeks, or at least that's how I'm going to organize it. So April Fool's Day begins on a Wednesday this year, and it's going to end on a Thursday. So that's going to make a pretty robust 5 weeks. I do my calendar spreads from Sunday to Saturday, but then I do my weekly spreads from Monday to Sunday. So that usually determines if I do 4 weeks or 5 weeks worth of spreads for any given month. Usually if I have a week that has maybe 4 or more days in one month or the other, I'll take the majority of days and include them into that month. So for example, you'll see very soon, I start my week 1 of April spread on Monday, March 30th, because there's only 2 days in that week from Monday to Sunday that are in March, and then we move right into April. The last week, week 5, I started on Monday the 27th and I ended on Sunday, May 3rd. So this is a good example of how there's 7 days in a week, and with 4 days in April and 3 days in May, it makes sense for me to have that spread contained within April. And then, of course, if there's any holidays that happen on the beginning or the end of the month, I'll try to move things around so the holiday falls into the theme most, like, with the month. So for example, in October, I like to include the 31st of October, Halloween, in the October weekly spreads. And if this means I have to have like a 5th month of October, even if there's like maybe 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, let's say Wednesday is Halloween, and then the rest of the week is 4 days in November, I'll still include that in my October spreads, my October weekly spreads, because I want it to be on theme with October. Because that's like, the whole purpose of October, Halloween. Anyways, and then for likewise with holidays at the beginning of the month, like January 1st, New Year's Day is really exemplary of this, where I like to try to start New Year's Day, so literally the first day of the year, on the first week of my January weekly spreads. So it all just works out really nicely like that. Now for the rest of the construction of these spreads, I'm going to speed up the video so you get more of a time lapse. And I really wanted to show the process for doing this monthly calendar because I actually mess up pretty badly. You'll see very soon that I start the month out on Thursday instead of on Wednesday, and I have to remove a giant sticker and cover up the day labels that I had already written down, and I have to shuffle the like days of the week stickers around to get it to align with the true like dates and stuff. And I think it's really important to show that in my video because sometimes I'll edit out like small little mistakes or like really long times where I'm flipping through stickers or whatever. But I also want to show that like it's okay to mess up and oftentimes it's really easy to fix. I like to keep I guess they're like scraps of label paper, like mailing label paper. I find that those are really good for covering up mistakes and because you can just like write on them again, it's just paper. So you'll see I cut up some of that very soon and I fix everything. So here you could see that's exactly where I realized my mistake. I removed the sticker. I actually end up using it right there. And that blank page next to my Hello April spread actually becomes like a house projects list. So here I am cutting up those little bits of label paper. You can see it's like on a little scrap, so we're not like wasting a whole lot. This is exactly why I keep them in a little box. So just covering these up and then I can mark directly on top of them. There we go. Crisis averted. It's all good. I used to make so many mistakes when I first started to learn how to make bullet journal spreads, and it took a lot of practice. I used to use a lot more ink, a lot more marker, I did a lot more drawing, a lot less washi and stickers. I'm very enthusiastic about my sticker usage now, and that's been really fun. I kind of want to go back to my older ways and have less stickers, but honestly, I'm having so much fun using stickers, and I have such a collection. Speaking of stickers, I finally ordered more of these Symposi Press stickers, and the artist and seller actually left a really cute note in the printout. What is it? The packing slip. So that kind of made my day. And they also sent samples of their other stickers. But yeah, if you are getting started in your creative journaling process or bujoing process, like don't be afraid to make mistakes. Something that really helped me when I was first kind of figuring it out. See, even here you can see I try to move that. I realize I can't, and so I just let it rock. I keep it where it is. And something that really helped me was to have like a large notebook. And by large I mean having lots of pages. And what I would do is when I would mess up a spread like so badly or I couldn't stand to look at it anymore, I would just turn the page and start over. So it kind of gave me the space for repetition. I could repeat the kind of spread that I was trying to make until I got the vision that I wanted to. So, as you just saw, we completed my monthly notes page pretty quickly. The to do, the to buy, the notes. I use that long notes page for some really specific notes that I don't keep in here, so I'm organizing for my local fighting game community. We're going to a big event together, and I ended up using that space to keep track of who has RSVP'd to be in our Airbnb, which is kind of a fun little tidbit. So these really cute girly Easter spring spreads are totally being defiled by the fighting game community and all the silly video games that we play. And then, of course, we're on to the weekly spreads. Like I said before, there are 5 weeks in April, so we're going to have 5 weekly spreads. I kind of joined together a color palette of that blue and like gold and orange for week 1. Then in week 2, it's a bit more of a mishmash of color. I use up the rest of that really pretty like pastel rainbow washi tape. Low-key, I've been using that washi tape mostly for June spreads for Pride in the past few years, and it has finally run out. So I think that might be all the more reason to try to do a cute spread for June, or cute theme for June with the Archer and Olive box that I got for spring, because it's really fun and I love it and I want to use it. So yeah, lots of blue in week 2 spread. Not much to say there. Looking good. Lots of stickers as always. That's the event that we're going to do, King of Upstate in Syracuse, New York. I'll be competing in Street Fighter 6. I've gotten so much better within the last few weeks. I've been really like slowing down my gameplay and trying to be a little bit more deliberate with my normals. I play Zangief, so that's very much a not normal, not very fundamental sort of character to be playing, a grappler. I'm excited to see how I do at the event this year versus how I did the last year. So I'm excited. But it'll be really fun. It'll be a group of us. We've done this for 3 years. This will be our 3rd year going. As kind of like a little invasion. And the Syracuse guys are really good and they're cool to chat with and catch up with every year. So I do something a little different than I usually do for week 3 of 5 for April. And I extend my weekend into the notes section. So this was also something that I frequently, I don't want to say mess up, but I try to work around when I do it. A lot of times I'll get my spacing wrong on these vertical spreads where I have like these longer stacked like day of the week spreads, and then I have the whole page on the opposite side for notes. So just passing the weekend over onto the notes side is a really good way to remedy that or to make room for that. And it works out in the end. I get to use up a little bit more stickers, take up a little bit more space, and then we simply just move on to the next page. So we return back to the sort of color theming that I wanted to be mindful of. In my set of stickers, I have a lot of blues, and then I have some of these like blue and red ones, and then I have these flower stickers that had a lot of red featured in them. And this is where I kind of feel like it could bleed into summer from spring. Some of these flower stickers were like the florals, they had strawberries. I was like, okay, I don't know if I want to use this for spring. I don't know if I want to use this for summer. So I just keep it loose and let it be the 4th week of April. I don't know why, but in this recording session in particular, I had like the most wild bedhead I have ever seen on myself, and I had no idea. And I gotta tell you, I'm recording this voiceover after the fact, and I am impressed with how silly my hair looks when it pops into the frame. And right now I don't have a part because I have like full like front bangs, and I'm impressed with how I have like 5 different parts whenever I see the top of my head in this little video. It's really funny. Then I do a similar thing for the 5th week of April, which you'll see very shortly. I actually include a longer notes panel kind of like you would normally see me do on the beginning like notes section of my usual spreads. And I just needed a little bit more space, kind of separated out from my regular notes for week 5. And that's how that ended up there. I actually didn't like how high up I placed it, so you probably just saw me trying to lift that sticker, but it wasn't gonna budge. So, you know, if I know a sticker's gonna like tear really badly, I will just leave it and keep it as a happy little accident, and that is okay. So I'm really glad that I got to talk about how I deal with little mistakes that I make when doing my bujoing process this month. If there's anything in particular that you want me to speak more about in my next monthly bujoing, let me know. I'd love to discuss more about my process or answer any questions that you might have about this. Alright, friends, thank you again so much for joining me for another month of bullet journal spreads. I'll see you again in May for my May spreads. And until then, don't forget to like and subscribe, leave a comment. Bye!